Okay, let's try this again. Got a new camera. None of that was in focus. I don't understand what happened. This looks like it's in focus. I didn't have the little viewfinder. My old camera doesn't have one. And that was one of the main things I wanted from a new camera, was that it actually has a viewfinder so I can see myself, which is real exciting. But I just forgot. So if I had just flipped it up, I would have seen that I was in focus. Anyway, what tiny baby eats in a day. I just did toddlers, 3-year-old kid. Now I'm doing my 1-year-old kid. I think the first one, the only other one I did for toddler, was when they turned 1. So I figured this is a good time to do it. And it's very different from toddlers as well. I think maybe I'll go back and watch that to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's quite a bit different from toddlers. So first I want to say tiny baby still does not have any teeth, just like toddler. They're pretty late getting their teeth in. What is it, like 6 months for the average baby is already getting their 2 little bottom teeth? Mine don't get theirs until, should be pretty soon now that they'll start popping up. So yeah, it makes it a little bit difficult in terms of solids, right? Actually eating food, anything other than liquid or a little mashed up, baby food or whatever, which wasn't a problem for toddler because toddler did not like eating anything other than liquid and like pureed foods. So that was fine. And like little puffy things that kind of melt in your mouth, right? But they didn't really have any use for teeth for like a long time because they didn't want anything like that. Tiny baby is like a normal baby that actually wants to eat foods and actually wants to chew and actually seems to enjoy eating and actually likes feeding themselves. It's amazing. Like, it's so new for me. So it feels like this super special thing, but I know it's normal. It's a normal baby thing. But yeah, that has been very nice, I have to say. So yeah, no teeth, much better eater than toddler. Most of their calories were coming from milk, from formula specifically, until really just recently, the last several weeks or so. We've just been slowly kind of phasing it out. I think I talked about moving to formula very early on with tiny baby. I think I talked about it in the birth story or whatever, or maybe it was another video, but yeah, with toddler, they were on breast milk for, mostly breast milk. They got formula a few times, mostly breast milk for, I'm not sure, I want to say 8 months or something like that. And then I started moving more and more to formula, or maybe I went completely, I don't know, doesn't matter. But tiny baby's been on it since very early on because I had the same problems with breastfeeding. I pulled out those pump parts and I about died. Like, I had totally repressed all of those memories of pumping and just how awful it was. But as soon as I saw them, my dad used to make fun of me for that. As soon as I saw them, God, it was such a horrible sinking feeling. I pretty much knew then, like, I'm not gonna be able to do this, especially with a toddler and trying to work. I mean, I could have done it. Realistically, I could have, but no, I wasn't gonna do it. So I didn't do it. And they've had the same, like, lack of problems that toddler had, like the same constipation issues, and that's pretty much it, just constipation. So great. To start, they get their vitamins, the Renzo multivitamin, the same that toddler gets. They get half of one, and then they get the Renzo vitamin D every other day. Then for their breakfast, we sit them in their little high chair, and they have one of these Belvita breakfast cookie things. They eat about half of it, maybe. It's hard to tell because they just make a mess all over the place, but maybe about half of one of these. They're not super junky, they're not terrible. They've got whole grains in them, sugar too, like date paste, something else. I don't know. Like, they're not the best thing, but it's nice. Again, since they don't have teeth, we're kind of limited with things that we can give them, and they really don't like to be like spoon-fed. They want to pick up things and eat them. My partner has made things in the past too, little homemade cookie things that are basically the same thing, oats and fruit and stuff like that. So yeah, that seems to work fairly well. As long as they have something on to watch. I know you're not supposed to do that, but for both of our kids, it really helps well, when Toddler was younger, now they just get distracted. But when Toddler was younger, and when, right now when Tiny Baby is young, super tiny. Yeah, it really helps for them to have something on that they want to watch. Tiny Baby loves Baby Ricky on Hulu, and it is super cute. The narrator, the lady's voice, is like the sweetest voice. I love her voice so much. All little kid voices are cute. It's just the sweetest little show. So we've watched that. I don't even know how many times. Like every episode we've probably seen like 50 times. It's ridiculous. They like to watch that when they eat, and also super simple songs on YouTube. They've got a bunch of cute little videos and songs and stuff. And Katie's Classroom, I don't think they've seen that, but Toddler has. Toddler really likes Katie, and she is just like, oh my God, she is so sweet. She's got the prettiest teeth I've ever seen. She's got such a sweet, sweet little voice. It's amazing. I used to be so picky with music. Now it's like, oh my God, give me anything that is not for kids. I will love it. So after they have their cookie, they get some soy milk, just regular full fat soy milk, fortified, right, with calcium and vitamin D and B12 with prune juice in it, which is a fantastic sounding combination. They like it. Toddler always liked it too. Again, Toddler had issues with constipation as well, so we did the same thing, putting prune juice in their milk. Yeah. You do what you gotta do. Then they have their nap, and then when they get up, it is lunchtime, and they get kind of a smorgasbord of stuff, but not all together. It's gotta be in a certain order, otherwise they will just eat fruit, basically. We have to give them the fruit last. I think like most kids, if you give them a bunch of different things, like some protein and vegetables and whatever, and there's fruit, they're just gonna eat the fruit and fill up on the fruit, right? We start with tofu right now. Just tofu, like it's not fried or anything, right? Because if you add any sort of crispy layer, they're not going to be able to eat it because there's no teeth. Tofu, and right now partner's using just a little sauce that they mix it up in, and it marinates basically. Soy sauce and sweet chili sauce, some ginger, some garlic, some hoisin. So like kind of a tasty thing that I think most of us would like. That's fairly salty, not super, super salty. So not the amount of soy sauce that like I would put on there, since they're a little older now and they can handle some added salt. And then after that, they get carrots, just some canned carrots right now. It's just a lot easier to be honest. And yeah, when we first started giving them carrots, oh my God, they went crazy for them, which I guess isn't too surprising because carrots are kind of sweet, right? The canned, they're kind of salty. And when I was a kid, I loved them to the point where I actually turned orange from all the beta carotene. So they haven't turned orange yet, and they have kind of slowly started eating them less and less, but they do get like a fairly good pile of sliced carrot after their tofu. And then they get their fruit. And again, we just do the little like fruit cups, the no sugar added ones. They actually have some mandarin oranges with monk fruit and like stevia, I think, in it. So they really, really like those. That's their favorite. They haven't really been big on strawberries, and strawberries have been so expensive. And obviously right now it's hard to go to the grocery store and get fresh produce, and there's not really any good produce right now. But once summertime hits, hopefully we'll be able to get some good peaches, although here in Portland, I mean, not really known for their peaches, unfortunately. After their big lunch, they get more milk with formula, just a little bit of formula in it, and some DHA, a little bit of canola oil for omega-3s, and a tiny bit of sunflower lecithin for choline. They do get a good amount of choline from the soy milk that they drink because they're having, 2 cups or something like that a day. But just for a little extra insurance, we like to use the sunflower lecithin. We did the same thing with Toddler too. And once they're eating more and like different stuff, we'll use more flax and hemp and chia, stuff like that for omega-3s. And then snacks, they get kind of, I guess after lunch is when they start getting some snacks. They really like these pea chip things. There's a bunch of different brands now. Trader Joe's have some as well. Maybe not a bunch of different. Maybe there's only 2. But we get these, the main brand, which has, I think most of them have milk, except for a few. They have a tomato basil one that Tiny Baby loves, Toddler loves as well. And then they have their regular, like, lightly salted, I think, one that they also really, really like. And then Trader Joe's has a salted one as well. And yeah, they both love these things. They are pretty good. We're not the only ones either. When we were on a plane recently, there was a mom and her little kid, and she was feeding her little kid the pea things. Because they're not bad, right? They're actually made from peas, and I say pea, but I think they're made from other things too, lentils and whatnot as well, depending on what type it is, what kind it is, and just some like oil and salt. So like they're really not bad in terms of a little snacky thing, and they're not super salty either. Some other snacks, just little multigrain crackers. We get these little circle ones from Trader Joe's, of course, and we'll dip it in like hummus. They really, really like hummus, which is cool. They also really like the Miyoko's cheesy, what is it? It's one of the soft cheeses with like onion or something in it. I forgot. It's something my partner bought from the store recently. They said they felt bad because, you know, with everything going on, a lot of stuff is out of stock, but like all the Miyoko stuff was still there. So they bought it. And yeah, Tiny Baby does really, really like that. Obviously, I would prefer them to have the hummus. And like I said, fruit, you know, banana, if we have ripe banana. They were eating the little bombas, is that what they're called? That are now popular here since our, you know, pediatric organizations, dietetic organizations have revised their views on giving kids peanut butter. You actually want to give them peanut and other allergens, you know, fairly early on. Not as soon as they start eating solids, but after a little bit, instead of waiting. So the bombas are really, really popular because they're made from, what is it, corn and peanut? Is that like all it is? For their final meal, they get a mixture, a kind of baby food looking thing of applesauce and some almond yogurt, the Silk unsweetened, I think, almond yogurt, and some mixed nut butter from Trader Joe's. Are you shocked? Yeah, it's a bunch of different nuts, cashews and Brazil nut, and I don't even know what else. I don't think there's any peanut in it. But yeah, it's got a bunch of different stuff, so we put that in there. Partner puts that in there. I actually can't, like, it smells disgusting to me. The yogurty thing mixed with the nut butter. I don't know what it is, but it is so foul smelling to me, so I don't even go near that stuff. And then just some other things that they're eating in terms of like greens and more vegetable-y things. Canned green beans, they like those as well. Again, with like a sauce on it, like the tofu. They also really like cauliflower just boiled with a little bit of salt. So we need to get some more of that actually. That was like the one thing that they really, really liked. We also got, it was the frozen colorful blend or whatever from Trader Joe's. So it had like purple cauliflower and green and orange and white. So, you know, I mean, once you boil it, it's not as pretty looking. It's kind of like muted, but several times that they ate it. So maybe they just really like cauliflower. So need to make some more of that. Yeah, like I said, experimenting with dinner and stuff. They really like the Trader Joe's. Jesus, I didn't mean this to be an ad for Trader Joe's. They really like their meatballs, or neat balls as we call them. That was total accident. Toddler just thought I said neat balls, and so that's what they are. They're neat balls. And yeah, they're really, really soft. They don't have any texture like the Gardein ones or some of the other ones. So kind of perfect for little tiny babies. Pasta as well, obviously. It's a common, you know, baby food. And yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, just like a funny little thing. That's really weird. So if Tiny Baby, you know, is pulling up and not quite cruising yet, but is going to start cruising soon. Same with Toddler. Toddler wasn't walking until about 14 and a half months. And it was crazy because they went from not walking to like, oh, I'm walking now. Oh, I'm like running now. It was pretty funny. But yeah, so Tiny Baby's same kind of thing, crawling like crazy, pulling up, all of that. But if they fall on their back, they just lay there and cry. They can't get up. They literally fall and cannot get up. And it's not like they can't roll over. They can roll over. When we would put them, on their back, right? Like you're supposed to when they're little, and then to sleep in their crib. And then they started rolling over on their own. And so for a while, we'd still put them on their back. They would roll over. And then eventually we started putting them on their tummy. So they can roll over. They just hate it. And they always have. It was the only thing I really kind of worried about with them, other than eating issues really, really early on. But, my pediatrician was always like, their muscle tone is fine. Like they're fine. They just hate it, absolutely hate rolling over. Whereas Toddler was the exact opposite, loved it, would just roll around the room, did not want to crawl, had no interest in crawling for so long because they would just roll around and get stuff. If they needed stuff, they just roll. But yeah, tiny baby, not into rolling. So yeah, they went from just sitting and not moving at all to like army crawling and then, real crawling. So yeah, it's pretty funny to have, a baby that's over a year old, that if they fall on their back, they cannot get up. And I looked it up and I've seen other parents say the same thing, that they have a kid who is like pulling themselves up and cruising and everything. But if they fall, if they get on their back, like that's it. They'll just lay there and cry. That's just going to be their timeout. Like once they're getting timeout, if they're still doing it, that's going to be their timeout. We're just going to put them on their back. There you go. Because they hate it. They freak out. They absolutely hate being on their back. Oh, that happened the other night. Oh God, they accidentally rolled over at night while they were sleeping and they just started screaming. And so, went in to help them, but nope. So we were up for like over 2 hours with them until they finally went back to sleep. So it's funny, but it's kind of not funny. I really hope they're able to figure out how to get up pretty soon, because that sucked. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Support the channel, patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. Subscribe. Oh my God, I said it the wrong way. What's happening? I'm just watching myself. It feels weird. Why am I just looking at myself? Again, thank you for watching. Oh, shirt. The shirt that I was wearing in the last video. A few of you mentioned it. Partner was looking through all of the comments to see if anyone mentioned it, because Partner did actually make that shirt. I got like a free sample on Teespring, right? You can order samples on Teespring and it is less, but it does cost money if you are a creator. I don't know what they call it on Teespring. Yeah, so if you get like a certain number of sales or whatever, I got like 5 sales or something in a week, or over 5 sales in a week, something like that. So I got a free sample. So Partner made a shirt for me. Not something that I would normally wear, I gotta be honest, but he really wanted to make it. And it is cute. Like, it's really well done, I think, but it's a little, preachy? Is that the word? That's not quite the word I want to use, but you know what I mean. I'm not into wearing stuff like that. I mean, obviously it's a lot more subtle and someone would really have to like get up and read it to see what it says. But yeah, some of you were asking where I got it from, and I put a post saying, hey, do you want me to put it in the store? And several of you said, yeah, so it is in the store. It's the same as the Ugly Soy Bitch. It's in both the boyfriend cut women's tee, and also unisex. Same price it should be as well. So yeah, check it out if you want. Someone asked about my lipstick and said it was a really good color. Thank you so much. It's actually a new brand. I meant to bring it down, but I forgot. Or not a new brand, but new brand for me in terms of lipstick. I've used their nail polish, that Ella and Mia, they sell in Target, their nail polish at least. And which is actually what this is. Partner needed some nail polish. Kind of long story, I guess. Doesn't matter. So I was like, hey, I might as well get some stuff too. And it's like, oh, they have makeup. I think they have eyeshadow and stuff too, but they've got a butt ton of liquid lipsticks. Everything is cruelty-free and vegan. And this is the color Blush. And it's very comfortable for a liquid lipstick. Very, very, very comfortable. I mean, it's not like a regular creamy lipstick. Of course, it's not going to be, but it is not super drying at all. And yeah, really pretty color. I saw cats. Honestly, it's not nearly as bad as I thought, but I think that's because I had seen just so many GIFs and screenshots and stuff, for the last like months right? Whenever it came out. So yeah, I think if I had just seen it not knowing, wow, that would have been an experience. But, I already knew. So it wasn't that bad. Seeing that, if I were a kid, I would love it. I can tell you right now, I would absolutely love it. And I would be so in to Idris Elba as Macavity. But when he takes off the coat, when you see him in his full glory, it is absolutely horrifying. It is terrible. Yeah, it's really freaky. And I think the worst part is you're watching it, or I was watching it, and I just start to get used to the faces with where it's like the faces look like they're floating on the it's not quite part of the rest of the body of the cat, it's just a little off. And I'll just start to get used to it, and then either they introduce another cat that now, oh God, now I've got to get used to their fucking weird ass face or whatever, or they just do something real weird, like, oh, now there are cockroaches doing... What are these mice? Oh God, just horrible. Oh, why is she taking off her skin? She's taking her fur off, and then she's got an outfit and more fur under the fur, and she does it twice. Or it's just someone's face will look extra weird for a shot, and it's like, oh God, it takes me right out of it again. Like, oh Jesus God, right, this is a nightmare. But yeah, I really would have liked it, as a kid. I've never seen Cats, which is how have I not seen Cats? I don't know. I never have. Everyone knows Memory. Is that even what it's called? I don't know. But everyone knows that song. It's a beautiful song. I was familiar with the Macavity song as well, which I really liked because, once they were like, hey, Cats movie is coming out, I was like, okay. So I looked up some stuff, read the plot, quote unquote, which is just, here's a cat, hey, here's a cat, hey, guess what? More cats. And Jellicle. Oh my God. No. Yeah, so I read the plot and looked up some clips and was like, man, a lot of these songs are like not good. Is that just me? Oh man. What? Like the lyrics are kind of fun and weird, but it's just, oh no. But I do like the Macavity song a lot. That song's great. And I like the performance. It's real sexual and weird, but wait, am I thinking of another song? I think it's that song with the two girls, Skimble Butt and whatever. The names are just the most ridiculous thing. Yeah, everyone knows this about Cats, but that was kind of the biggest disappointment for me watching the movie, is that it's not the two cats anymore. It's one cat, and it's Taylor Swift, who is fine, but I don't think her voice is super suited to this sort of thing, and that song in particular. Ooh, dang, yikes. Oh, okay. I just tweaked my neck, and that was just absolute fire right there. That was great. Yeah, I don't think her voice is super suited to that. So that was a little bit meh. But man, Jason Derulo as the Rum Tum Tiger, is that what it is? Rum Tum Tiger. Yeah, yeah. And they tried to give it a plot, didn't they? I swear when I read it before, there wasn't anything other than the one that sings Memory, the Jennifer Hudson one, gets to go to the heavy-side layer. She gets to go to the heavy-side layer, and that's it. And then there's just, here's a cat, here's another cat. Guess what? More cats. Yeah, so they I guess they added the whole... Macavity was in it before, but it was just oh, Macavity, he's the bad one anyway. Whereas this one, he's actually stealing the potential, choices, the potential Jellicle choices. I think that was added. That was cool, I guess. There's something happening, something going on in terms of a plot. And Jennifer Hudson's performance was so good. Man, there's tears. I think there's snot going on. It was so good. And her voice, oh my God. And it's so frustrating because, I'm trying to zone in on the part that is actually her and actually her face, and trying to ignore the weirdness that's going on here. And you just can't. And it doesn't ruin it, but man, it makes it a lot less enjoyable because it's just her in particular, her the whole thing going on is real freaky. And yeah, it just makes it really hard to enjoy that performance in its, to the fullest, I guess. But I do want to watch it again. Oddly enough, I want to see it again. Oh, and the Rebel Wilson, and who was the big cat that likes food? Wasn't that someone? That was someone. I'm not sure, but yeah, the kind of comic relief stuff. I mean, it's, kids are watching this. I'm sure they'll like that stuff, I guess. I don't know. It was pretty lame. And the dancing was really good for the most part. There were some weird parts for me anyway. And again, maybe that was just the CG, but yeah, it's hard to appreciate a lot of it because of the weird not there face weirdness of it. Just makes it really hard to appreciate everything that went into this movie. So, and the perspectives. How big or small are these cats? Sometimes they're very small. Sometimes they're human size or close to it. They just not try at all, or limited time. I think I read they had to spend so much time on the trailer and then had 4 months or something for digital effects, for VFX. Maybe I read that wrong, but it was something like that. They had a very limited amount of time to actually finish this movie. So, yeah, seems like they did what they could with it. Yeah, I'd see it. You can rent it now for $6 or something on Google Play. That's what I did. And it's not quite 2 hours. And I had fun. Like I said, I want to watch it again. I'm going to watch it again with Toddler tomorrow. Am I going to scar them for life? Oh, and release the butthole cut. What are we doing?
No oranges today. You got pear and peaches. Don't throw it.
Oh my God.